What if I told you there's an educational approach that doesn't just teach separate subjects, but gives a child one single magnificent story? The story of the entire universe and, most importantly, their own special place in it. Well, that was the radical vision of Maria Montessori, and today we're going to dive right into it. At the very heart of education, there's this enormous question. How in the world do you teach a child everything? Think about it. How do you give them a complete picture of reality, from the stars way up there to the tiniest atoms, from ancient history to modern science, without it all just becoming a messy jumble of random facts? This is the exact challenge Maria Montessori decided to tackle head-on. And to solve it, we first have to get our heads around this really crucial change that happens in a child's development. Right around the age of 6, the whole way their mind works totally shifts, and this new kind of intellectual hunger just wakes up. And this change, it's a really big deal. Before 6, a child has what Montessori called the absorbent mind. It's literally like a sponge, just effortlessly soaking up everything it encounters in the world. But then, after 6, they enter the age of the reasoning mind. And now, they're not happy to just absorb things anymore. They need to know why. They start asking a million questions, they challenge ideas, and they're always searching for the reasons behind it all. Montessori saw this exact stage as a critical, can't-miss window of opportunity. A child's mind is like this fertile field, just waiting for the seeds of knowledge to be planted. But, and this is a big but, if you just toss random, disconnected seeds at it, that natural curiosity can start to fade, and the child actually begins to resist learning. So the real challenge is figuring out how to feed this new, hungry intelligence in just the right way. And this, right here, is where her genius really shines. Instead of a curriculum broken up into all these separate subjects, history over here, biology over there, geology somewhere else, she came up with a single unifying idea, a grand story that holds everything together. She called it cosmic education. And the whole idea is to present the universe itself as one coherent, totally thrilling narrative. It's a plan designed to grab a child's interest by showing them how everything, from the way our planet formed to the invention of the alphabet, is all part of one great cosmic drama. Listen to how Montessori herself put it. The goal isn't just to make a kid interested. It's to spark this deep sense of awe and wonder. When you help them fix their mind on this huge, incredible vision, their quest for knowledge suddenly has a center. All of a sudden, everything they learn has a place where it belongs. So you might be wondering, how can a little 6-year-old even begin to grasp something as massive as the universe? Well, the answer isn't memorizing a bunch of facts and dates. The real tool here is imagination. Imagination is the only part of our mind that can travel through infinite space and time, letting a child picture the Big Bang or see the world through the eyes of a dinosaur. So, what does this story actually sound like? Let me tell you, it's not some dry, boring science lecture. It's an epic. It's filled with heroes, villains, huge wars, and great cosmic tasks. Let's take a quick look at how it all unfolds. Okay, so the story starts with a planet in serious trouble. The early Earth was facing a crisis. The rivers were dumping so much calcium and other minerals into the oceans that the water was basically becoming this poisonous soup, threatening to wipe out all life. The whole balance of the world was at stake. So who could possibly save the day? It wasn't some huge, powerful beast. Nope. It was an army of tiny, humble workers. Countless little protozoa, and later on the corals, they answered this unconscious call to service. They became soldiers on the front line, filtering incredible amounts of water, absorbing all those poisonous salts to build their shells. And when they died, their bodies literally created vast new lands. But the drama didn't stop there. Not even close. The story keeps going with what Montessori actually called a primeval world war. The Earth itself rebelled against the sea, throwing up volcanoes and raising massive mountain ranges in this epic geological conflict that went on for millions of years. And this war, it trapped huge parts of the ocean inland, which created the massive salt deposits we still use today. So, with the waters finally in balance, a new crisis popped up. The air was thick with poisonous carbon dioxide, totally unbreathable for animal life. And so, a new army was called to action. The plants. They took on the cosmic task of invading the land, devouring all that carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen that would get the planet ready for the next big stage of life. And just try to wrap your head around the timescale here. For 300 million years, plants were on this campaign, evolving from simple algae and mosses into these vast, incredible forests. Their great sacrifice didn't just clean the air. Their buried remains gave us this incredible gift of coal, which would fuel a future civilization they could never, ever have known. Now, after the age of giant reptiles, who, often just abandoned their eggs, evolution took this really surprising turn. The next big leap forward wasn't about bigger teeth or thicker armor. As Montessori puts it, nature introduced a powerful new energy called love. The instinct of birds and mammals to protect and care for their young, that became the true mark of evolutionary progress, making sure the next generation could survive. Now, all of this work, by the corals, the plants, the animals, it was all done unconsciously. They were all just fulfilling a cosmic plan without having any idea they were doing it. But then, a new kind of being showed up on the scene, one that would work consciously. That's right, humanity. With our arrival, a totally new kind of energy entered the world. A mind that was capable not just of acting, but of understanding. We became the creators, but we also became the revealers. Through science and art, we have the power to look back in time to piece together the entire history of our planet and everything living on it. We weren't just the next chapter in the story. We actually became its storytellers. So, what's our special task in this whole cosmic drama? Well, unlike other creatures, we act with intelligence, not just instinct. We leave behind more than just our bodies. We leave our creations, our tools, our art, our ideas. We get to build on the discoveries of all the generations who came before us. And our greatest weapon isn't our physical strength. It's what Montessori calls the mental one, our imagination, which lets us completely transform the world. Okay, so it's a beautiful story. It really is. But what's the ultimate educational point of telling it? Why does framing learning this way matter so much? Well, it matters because it shows a child that nothing in this world exists in a vacuum. Geology, biology, chemistry, history, they aren't just separate boxes you check off a list. They are all deeply connected chapters in the exact same epic story. Learning becomes this process of discovering relationships, which creates a powerful sense of order and context in a child's mind. But ultimately, the real goal is emotional. By presenting knowledge this way, we link a child's mental growth directly to their emotional growth. They don't just learn a bunch of facts, they develop a deep love for knowledge, and this profound sense of gratitude for the immense multi-billion-year effort by both nature and humanity that has made their own life possible. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We so often think of education as pouring information into an empty bucket. But what if we're missing the entire point? What if the real purpose of learning is to give each child their context, their history, and their unique place within the magnificent ongoing story of everything?